We talk a lot about how to use aircrete to build your own beautiful, affordable, off-grid structure, or to simply have a home without debt, minimizing your need for a job. But there's the sticking point. It's always the job that consumes almost all of your day. I mean, what would you do right now? What would you do tomorrow if you didn't have to go to the job, if you could do anything you wanted to, and money was not a consideration? Would you go to work? If not, that means that you actually prefer and desire to do something more than what you're doing. I mean, let's face it, jobs are repetitive, jobs are boring, you're treated like children, you're restricted, you're controlled, and your time is not yours. You're literally trading your life for someone else's profit because they, as the middleman, take the majority of the value for your actions in that business. And to that end, why not create your own business, a business that is yours where there is no middleman, where you make all of the profit and the time that you do spend receives the full bounty of your efforts. You see, an online business is something that allows us to not be beholden to an employer. It allows us to not be stuck in one location. It allows us to travel or live the lifestyle we want. For example, here we're off-grid. We are miles and miles and miles and miles from anything. And to be able to make our money without having to go anywhere is a beautiful thing. I mean, whenever you offer digital products and services that are served up digitally and copied to everyone who wants them, then you're no longer having to even trade time for money. You see, you can become self-employed. You can. There's lots of great ways to do that, and it's a huge step up. And you can still do that in an online business. But of course, the golden standard is to create a automated, ongoing passive income that generates money while you sleep, that no longer requires you to put in a lot more time for more gain. And that's what we're teaching in Manifest Business. We're not only showing you how to build your own online business, we're actually showing you how to create a passive income. We're showing you beyond the steps of just setting up the business. We're going to work with the real sticking points that I see in almost everybody. I mean, think about this. If you already had all of the answers, then things would be different than they are. It's actually our beliefs, those automated programs that we have within our psyche, within our ego. We have put them there by making agreements with the way the world is or our experience. We've made agreements mentally with ourselves from what other people have said. We've come into agreement and alignment with that. And we've been programmed by parents. We've been programmed especially by state-run government schools where you have to tote the line and you have to get permission to go pee. You see, we've been drilled and conditioned by society to serve them. But the thing about slavery is it takes two. One willing to enslave someone and one willing to be the slave. Because if your time and your life is not yours to do with as you please, you are in fact enslaved. So it's our goal to help you to set up a business and to overcome the limits. You see, things like if you believe that rich people are greedy or dishonest or evil, something like that is a limiting belief that even if you're succeeding in business will come back to bite you in the proverbial backside. Your subconscious programs will always cause you to fail and to default down to your highest level of training or programming. And so we spend a lot of time showing you how to identify these areas and develop these areas. But then we go further. We're going to show you how to manifest customers and sales. Maybe you've heard of the law of attraction. It's just one of 12 other laws and only a small part. It's actually called the law of vibration. But the point is that with that idea that has been popularized, the idea that we can create vision boards and just imagine our ways into a better life is not untrue, but it's incomplete. There's a much broader picture and a lot more pieces that have to be put into place. And then once we have developed our person, our being, if you will, if we have grown as an individual, then we will be the person who can succeed and hold on to and accept wealth. We will be the person who does not default back to a lower state of failure. We will become the people who are successful, who have all that we need. And that personal growth is what it requires. It's required in relationships, it's required in business relationships, it's required in all forms of success, and quite frankly, it's required to escape the boredom and mundane life that society's offered us. It gives us the ability to become more than we are. It puts us on a path upwards that is ever new, ever renewed, and always presenting more growth. It never stops, it never ends, unless you choose to stop. And that's a beautiful thing. No boredom, no repetitive job, no endless monotony of having to work to survive. I mean, let's face it, at any income level, most Americans are only surviving. I know a man who works or owns his own business. He's self-employed. He has a home health care business. Well, in that nationwide business, after taxes, he takes home $3 million. That sounds amazing, right? What could you do with $3 million? Well, I tell you what he's done. He has developed ulcers, takes lots, just bottles loads of Tums, deals with stress, and he has upsized his business to have the bigger house, the bigger car, the bigger vacation, the bigger timeshare. Everything is just bigger. But it's the same thing that the guy working down at the burger flipping joint's doing. And they're actually struggling and worried about losing all that they have. They do have some level of retirement put back, but only in that way are they a little better off than the other people. But they're still waiting for the day that they can retire and do what it is that they want to do. And I would suggest that that is wrong thinking, because if you wait until you are of retirement age, you probably will never do the things you want to do because you have developed the habits of not being and doing what and who you are. And from personal experience, working with a lot of people, I have seen time after time after time, so many people finally retire. They're finally free. And then they get sick, they get bored, and quite often within just a few short years, they're dead. You see, if we keep putting off what we want to do, we probably will develop the habit of never arriving. So, building your own business frees you from that monotony and that trap. And the personal development and the law of attraction with all the other 12 laws and the entire picture of aligning spirit and inspiration and mind and body and emotion and action and habits and beliefs, all of that working together delivers to us exactly what it is we're seeking. It's once practiced, it's almost as good as going into a meditative prayer, if you will, and then literally just waiting for the answer to show up. And it does every time. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to develop you as a person, and we're going to get your online business set up. We're going to seek divine inspiration for your ultimate business idea. If you haven't found that yet, we're going to get you on the path with some sort of business up and running. So if this resonates with you, if this makes your heart feel something, then please click the link below in the description. I invite you, come and check out our online course. We're having an upcoming live event that's starting very soon. And that live event will be limited to the number of people that can enroll. And once the class has started, there will be no more enrollments until next year. So if this resonates with you, check it out. Because I want you to succeed. I want you to have a better life. It's one thing to build an aircrete house and reduce our expenses, or to enable us to live the extreme early retirement where we're living a retirement lifestyle at 30 or 40 or even 20 if you're lucky enough to be starting young. So consider what your life could be. What would you do if you could do what you wanted to when you wanted to? What would your life look like? Who would be in your life? What would you do from day to day? What would you eat? Where would you go? What are your activities? What would be the state of peace and joy in your life knowing that you have everything that you need? And what would it be like to ascend our consciousness and raise our spiritual awareness to something more that puts us on a path that's never boring and ever new? So with that, thank you for your time. I do appreciate it because your time is worthwhile. I look so forward to seeing the value that you're going to bring to the world that's going to enrich my life, that I can come to your store and purchase online. And with that, you have a beautiful and wonderful day.